Hello, this is going to be a pretty versatile video, covering some of the stuff we worked on during pre-production. Starting with probably the most crucial aspect of filmmaking, casting. As we mentioned in our previous video, we decided to work with British actors. UK is reasonably close to Croatia, making it both logistically and financially practical for our production, so we searched the websites like Mandy and Backstage. Naturally, the actors needed to visually match the character's age, which is a given, but it did narrow down our options. Then we needed them to be able to do American accents, as the movie is set in the USA, which narrows it down even more. And lastly, we considered only the profiles with uploaded showreels, as that's the only way you can actually see if somebody can act or if they stink. So when all these parameters are applied, our choices got narrowed down pretty quickly, leaving us with only a few options for each role. We reached out to them, introducing ourselves and providing a piece of dialogue for them to record. For the main role of George Losser, we selected a Scottish actor, Alan Hay.
Would you be able to arrange a meeting for me? With the boss?
Why?
Well, you know, to pitch the idea. Maybe have a shot at R&D.
He sent an audition tape with a couple different versions of his performance to demonstrate his range. In one portrayal, he was pretty confident.
You know that thing I've been working on? I'm pretty close. And if it works, oh boy.
And the other was much more gentle and shy, which was exactly our vision for the character.
You know that thing I was working on? I'm pretty close.
Alan is really a wonderful actor, and it was evident that he could give this character the necessary emotions and sympathy, which was critical given that it's the main role. Next role was that of Jack Van Keur, but I think it's better if Dino tells this story.
Now, in my head, this guy was a total douchebag, someone who takes himself very seriously, but in fact is a caricature. So we went through thousands of pictures, and imagine my surprise when I stumbled upon the face of Kent. I immediately jumped from the chair. I was very excited. And then I decided to sit back and, well, unfortunately, missed the whole chair. I hit the floor straight with my ass. I never felt pain like that ever in my entire life before. And I begged our producer Suki to drive me to the hospital. And after a short session of x-rays, the doctor gave me the news. I broke my tailbone. After the hospital, I'm lying in my bed, I'm numb from all the painkillers I took, and suddenly we get an email. It's Ken's audition tape.
Well, no point keeping it a secret anymore. Guess I'm the guilty party. Well, you know, it was a small, secret passion project of mine. I thought it was kind of dumb, actually, so, yeah.
But at the same time, we got another tape from an actor called Matthew Simpson.
Well, no point to keep it a secret anymore. Seems I'm the guilty party.
Really?
The thing was, we imagined the character of Jack Van Keur as somewhat older. So this was a minor concern at first, but his performance was so confident and with just the right amount of cockiness and sleaziness that he completely won us over.
You know, it was a little secret passion project of mine.
Didn't know you were into science.
Well, I thought it was kind of dumb, really.
Dumb?
We even took a photo of him and did some Photoshop work to envision how he would look in the 1960s, and when we saw him with the mustache, you know, that was it. He landed the role. But Kent lost the role. And you know, by that point Kent saw a slice of life and all, and he was totally eager to work with us, so we decided to offer him another role, which might be smaller, but still significant, the lavatory supervisor. So in the end, everyone was happy, and Dino didn't fall on his ass for nothing. For the role of NASA administrator, Bob S. Crawler, we selected David Gilliam.
Neil! Something wrong? Let's sit down.
David even went to the trouble of filming himself in different locations, depending on which scene he was reading from.
So, what's a SITS sprinkler?
So it was a nice touch, and it certainly gave us the better feel for the scene.
Mr. President, it's an honor to have you here, sir.
Our top choice for the role of Neil Armstrong was a young actor, Sam Rintoul.
Well, scientifically, Earth is traveling many thousands of miles per hour in the in the direction of the constellation Hercules.
Sam later told us that he studied Neil's recordings and went the extra mile to perfect Neil's accent.
But I can tell you much more precisely where I'm going. And that's to the little boy's room.
And his delivery was hilarious.
If space teaches you anything, it's to appreciate the quality of a good old-fashioned pee.
And our last big role was that of President Nixon. And by a stroke of coincidence, we stumbled upon a gentleman named Timothy Nixon. But unfortunately, I don't have his audition tape.
Mr. President, it's an honor to have you here, sir.
So since we couldn't meet with them in person, we conducted numerous calls and script read-throughs to thoroughly discuss their characters and the screenplay.
This will have consequences.
Can you do one angry inside, but say it slowly, like this will have consequences, Jack? You know, maybe something.
This will have consequences, Jack.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, it's also cool, yeah, when you go a bit deeper.
These read-throughs were the first time we heard anyone perform the script, right? So you don't really have the characters fully defined in your head, you know, the way that they speak and stuff like that.
The splashback from the urinal. I just hate it. Droplets bouncing off the porcelain.
Alan and Matt never met before this call, and these rehearsals were crucial not only for them to become acquainted with each other and their lines, but for all of us to get the feel for the written dialogue.
I'm talking about history in the making here, and you're talking about piss?
And we would often get ideas in real time.
But you are very important to us, right? And there's a reason you should stay in the spot that we need you the most. Supplies.
Could you just to kind of like just I would love it if you could just supplies.
All right. Look, and you're very important to us. And that's the reason you should stay in the spot that we need you the most. Supplies.
Oh, it's perfect, man. We love you, man. Perfect. Yeah. No, the script actually feels good when you read it. Yeah. It's good. Yeah, we're making a movie.
He's not trying to impress George, right? So you get this massive contrast between him trying to impress everyone else and his bravado, and then with George, he really didn't even want to give him the time of day. And no, it's good, guys. Thank you very much. And yeah, it's good to be.
Thank you. We're very happy.
Cheers, guys.
Another important aspect of pre-production are props. To manage this, we hired a team of production designers who first thoroughly read the script and listed all required props. Then they created a PDF document containing photos of props available in Croatia and sent it to us for review. Once all the props were approved and collected, we visited their warehouse to see the props in real life. We are in the prop warehouse here, and this is our prop department, Matea, Matija and Adrian. And they prepared a lot of cool props because we need to recreate, you know, Florida, America, and we are in a village near Zagreb, so... Our primary focus was the work desk of our main character, George. Our production designers had to find radios, lamps, books, a typewriter and a fan, random papers, pens, and even a retro coffee cup that I use here to drink coffee. So every single item you see casually displayed on this desk was chosen with utmost care and affection. Of course, we required lots of props for various other scenes too, including tables, coffee machines, and an assortment of bottles and drinks.
Bottles. Look at this. It looks like a bottle, but it gives you cigarettes and then you try it. Awesome.
They had to track down tons of vintage cameras and microphones, picture frames, fly swatters, glasses, combs, cans that we would design the labels for, and even plastic fruit. But sometimes we were graced by pure magic. This peeing boy drink dispenser that they stumbled upon by chance left us so impressed that we instantly knew it had to be featured prominently somewhere in the film. So all in all, guys did a fantastic job, and we really started to get a feel for the 1960s era. Dino and I also did some prop hunting ourselves, so we visited the local flea market.
So what's the trick how to buy things here?
Well, you say, how much is this? Then they say it's 50 something. You say, well, I have 5. And then they say,
forget about it. Yeah. You start walking away and they say, stop, how about 10? You say, it's okay.
It's okay, 10.
And that's it.
That's how we buy things, yeah.
I wanted to create a couple of hero props on my own, such as the urinal simulator we came up with in the storyboarding phase. So it needed to look high-tech, but also retro. So we bought all these gauges and a lot of other things that we don't really know what they are.
It's the stream opener.
Yeah.
Pressure pump. Have you already mentioned the coffee machine, which is going to turn into a pee machine?
You gotta have a vision. That's the point. So with my hands full of random crap that only I could envision as a part of a coherent whole, I returned home and began working on the urinal simulator. As soon as it started to take shape, Dino was eager to test potential shots for the film. Another crucial aspect we needed to prepare were the front projections. We had a couple of scenes that required filming in front of these projections, so I had to create the footage that would be projected behind the actors. I made a huge warehouse setting in 3D, with about 1 million boxes and crates, and we conducted some tests in the studio we rented for filming. So everything you see behind him is just the projection, and you know, it seemed like it could work. For driving scenes, we needed a Florida landscape outside of the car. I extracted some trees and palms from the photographs I found online, and I assembled a basic but functional representation of the road in 3D. Then I exported several loopable videos, each offering a different camera angle for various shots. Our rudimentary test appeared quite promising, especially when you visualize a car around the actors. Meanwhile, in another part of town, another significant event was taking place.
So today is a very exciting day for us. We're having a big rehearsal for costumes and makeup for the extras.
Hi everyone, so I'm Nicolina and we are on our fitting for extras today. Why do we need to do that? Because on day of shooting we don't have any time to do the combinations for them, so now we need to prepare everything.
Among them are NASA journalists.
They can be dressed privately, so they have like just shirts.
We have NASA employees.
Some of them are more formal, so they have suits. Some of them are in their hippie phase already, maybe.
And she's Luca's wife. So she is kind of like here,
we'll see,
you know.
After the shooting,
it's kind of like it was a fix.
If I would still be his wife.
Apart from the costume department, we also had a makeup department, and they were responsible for creating period-appropriate hairstyles. Each extra had to get their hair trimmed and styled into a 1960s hairstyle.
This part will be up, definitely.
They also had an assortment of fake mustaches, sideburns, eyebrows, you name it.
1, 2, magic!
We had all sorts of extras. We needed around 10 bodyguards.
They're like men in black outfits, so black suits, white shirts and black ties. And sunglasses, of course.
What kind of model?
Wayfarer.
Behind my back is none other than Dragon Rage, the famous cop from Slice of Life. Yeah. And he's having a small part in our new movie. And for that part, he has to look decent for the period. So that unfortunately means what?
Shaving my beard and cutting my hair. I didn't shave my beard over 10 years, so this will be a shock to my kids.
Okay.
It's weird and it's okay, but I'm not a fan of mustache.
But you look amazing.
Thank you.
Dragi kao jako 60 godina iz serije 60.
And that's it. Now we're gonna be fine for the day of the shooting.
However, we were still missing the most important prop in the whole film, the urinal net. Of course, we're all familiar with how urinal nets look these days, but we needed to imagine what the first one, the very prototype of urinal nets, might have looked like. So I asked a friend of mine to attempt designing it, and he came up with various radical designs. I also gave it a shot and created a few designs myself, but we soon realized that sticking to a more standardized circular theme was actually the way to go. All of these looked good, but none of them spoke to us, you know? So in the end we settled on one of my designs, not only because I did it, maybe a little bit, but because it looked like a urinal net, but at the same time it gave the impression of retrofuturism. I felt it could fit right in at the original Disney's Tomorrowland or something, you know? So that was the winning peanut. Slowly but surely, our pre-production phase was drawing to a close. We had our schedule planned, filming dates confirmed for the entire crew, catering for each day of filming arranged, hotel accommodations booked, and plane tickets for the actors were being purchased. And then Sam, the actor portraying Neil Armstrong, had a problem with the passport.
It's classic timing, isn't it? You don't travel outside the country for so long, and then the one time that you need to, it's like, oh, no, need a passport. Yeah.
He applied to get the passport urgently, and they said it will probably take 3 to 5 days, which will be fine because we're filming in a week from now. But it might take 2 weeks.
I mean, I've been calling them about 3-4 times a day, just trying to get updates at all, and they just keep on saying the same thing.
So you know, we had to think of all the possibilities.
We were even like discussing, could we move the shoot? But the problem is, we already booked flights, hotels, we already a couple €1,000 paid.
Yeah.
I mean, if we move that, we lost about a fifth of the budget.
Could we rearrange the filming schedule and potentially push his scenes towards the end of the shooting week? Or do we perhaps film with a body double?
When he walks past the urinals, that can be anybody. His close-up, when he looks down at it, can be anywhere, actually.
In the end, thank God, Sam got the passport in time.
Idiots always have luck, and we're idiots, 100%. So we'll make it.
But it's just an example of one additional stressful thing on top of everything else. I explicitly remember feeling completely exhausted, you know, after 2 full months of planning, running around, falling on your ass and getting an X-ray, buying things, building things. We all just wanted some time off. But there was no time off, of course. Instead, what loomed ahead was even more daunting. Principal photography. By the way, if you don't want to miss the next video in this epic masterclass extravaganza, be sure to subscribe to our channel if you're not already, like the video, you know, to help us with the scary YouTube algorithm, and tell your friends about it. Thanks!